We both have one pick left. I'm wondering if we have the same pick. You would know the answer.
You know we do.
Yeah, I know we have the same.
You know we do.
You may as well just show up because there's only one answer for the #1 farm game.
When you say farming game, you must be talking about Agricola.
Hell's yes.
Yeah.
Agricola. Oh my goodness.
Have you played Agricola?
I haven't.
Okay, that's why it's not. Well, let's see.
I mean, it's kind of the OG farming game, right?
It is.
It was farming for farming was cool. No, was there another game? It was 2007.
Yeah,
No.
well, it's funny too because the origin of my conversation with you around Agricola is well documented. That I had not played Agricola, but I had played Caverna, which was, I was told, better than Agricola, but I did not like Caverna.
Liars.
And you got him back and
then
try this anyway.
And then I tried Agricola and I said, wait a minute, this is phenomenal. So Agricola has just flown up my list from that moment, and my goodness, this game is
you hear that,
so
Caverna
good.
lovers?
So good.
Chumps.
And
I'm kidding.
What is the argument for Caverna over this?
Caverna is not as punishing.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. The feed your people thing got a little mitigated.
Agricola's
and there's very limited amount of spaces.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you can't get if you don't get to the space to expand,
right? Family growth.
The family growth space, you're not expanding.
And you can't expand unless you got room. And you can't go to those build rooms unless you got those resources. And why did you take my wood? Why did you take my wood? You know?
Now, can we first point out, so this game is cutthroat.
Very.
Extremely cutthroat. So if you don't like cutthroat, I get why you don't like Agricola.
You're not going to like Agricola.
No, you're going to hate Agricola. But
you're going to hate farming.
Yeah. But it is cutthroat.
It's grueling. Oh, Agricola is so grueling.
But one of the cool things about this game, a few things. First and foremost, there is a point salad happening of different ways to score in this game.
Sort of. But the issue is you need to have a variety, because you can't just focus on one thing, because you get negative points and you don't have like specific things.
Yes.
Okay.
Like if you went all in on your crops and you got no animals, you're getting negative points having no animals.
Yeah.
You need a healthy, balanced farm that has a variety of a little bit of everything.
There's also in this game the ability to have the cards at the start of the game, and
the minor improvement cards.
The minor improvement cards are a major
cards.
I think those are all a major improvement,
which is a different card
to the game. Right. Yes, I know. Yeah. But I think the cards being part of the game, to me, then take it up a notch.
Yeah.
And that's why this is such an easy pick for #1, because I love those cards. They give us capabilities and change decision making on just another level for me. So I always would play with them. The occupation cards in particular, I always really enjoy. But you talked about this.
I did.
The spots that we are going, that we're choosing. One, it's going to expand over time. More and more spots are going to open
every
up.
round a new spot opens.
But it's still tight, even though it's expanding. Your decision, because those new spots that open, man, you want to be able to go there. But at the same time, as we mentioned, you want to be able to expand the farm. But you need to be able to remove that spot so you can actually expand. Oh, but I want to grow. But I can't. That's the thing that's constantly happening. And you are forced to make tough decisions every single turn.
Yeah, because you can't do everything you want before the harvest. And the harvest is crucial, because the harvest is when you take the topmost veggie or grain that's on top of the fields, and then you got to feed your family. And if you don't have enough food to feed your family per food missing, you lose 3 points.
Yes.
Which is crucial in a game that hovers around 40. Right?
Yeah.
On top of that, then your animals breed, right? If you have 2 or more of the same animal, you get a little baby animal, which is cool. Now, you might be thinking, I need space for these animals, right? Well, yes, unless, of course, you got the cooking hearth, because then you could just toss them in the cooking hearth and then you got food for later, And you could do that even before it's feeding time. But the issue is, if you only got 2 sheep and you toss one in to feed your family,
now you ain't breeding any sheep.
You ain't having any baby sheep that turn. The decisions in this game are agonizing. And I love everything about
Does
that.
that mean that someone like me who never played it before would do very poorly the first time around?
So we could play without the occupation
Yeah.
cards, without the minor improvement cards,
Okay.
to just get you through it. There is friendlier variants to play, and also be mindful when playing with new players. Like, I'm not gonna be trouncing.
This isn't. Let me just say, this is not like a game where you're losing on the first turn, though. It's not
it's not like you can never come back.
Yeah, so you have they have the ability to get back into the game if you get behind. You can recover because the decisions are tight. It does not mean that you're never going to get back in the game. That said, yes, if you know the game, I think there is an advantage.
Sure.
But I think after a game or two, you pick this up. But I think it's a game that when you play it, you are going to want to play it again.
Yeah.
And that's the key piece.
I could see that already.
Because at the end, you got a nice farm.
Yeah.
And your hard work is shown to you on the table in physical form. It was hard to get there in those 16 rounds of the game. But when you got there, it was worth it.
And there's great moments.
Yeah,
by the way,
well
it's true. I love Rachel. I love when Uncle Ryan tells the story.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this game is dripping with story. And the thing is, too, you add the expansion in, right? You know what that expansion does? Adds horses, which are pretty cool.
Naturally.
I've never played the expansion. I've only played
trees,
the base.
Right? And little pits of these little tar mud things. And at the end of every harvest is winter time. And you need to make sure your house has heating or else your workers get sick. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool mechanic. Yeah.
It's so satisfying though, even if it's when you're able to complete like just one of the things you've been trying to accomplish, it has that moment where you're like, oh, I did it.
Right. Because it is a hard game.
Yeah.
And when you get that satisfying farm, it feels so worth it. And it feels like such an accomplishment for having this little farm in front of you.
I have to talk too. It's like also think about, yes, you've got the animals, but like you're also trying to put up those fences.
Because you can't put the animals out unless they're fenced in. Well, to be fair, you can have one animal in your house as a pet. So you can have a pet boar.
Any animal you want?
Any animal you
want.
Any
animal. You can have a pet cow.
You can have a pet cow in the house.
That's all good.
No problem.
Now, how does that benefit you? Can you eat it in dire circumstances?
You can if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, you can eat it.
You definitely can, and then also too, there's these little houses. Those are the stables. And so basically how it works is a fenced in area of a fenced in pasture can hold at most 2 animals of the same type. Okay. That pasture can hold at most 1 type of animal. But when you add in a stable, it's going to double the quantity. So now each one has 4. And if you have a pasture with 2 stables in it, each square can hold 8 of the same animal, which is absurd, but you can do that.
But you're not going to do everything.
Fenced in. And you're not going to be able to do anything.
You're not going to do everything we just talked about.
Because
that's the thing.
Because the other players are going to try to do the same thing. And you have to be constantly pivoting your strategy throughout the entire game. And you need to take into consideration that everyone wants this spot. And I'm going to take this lesser action so I can guarantee going first the next round.
Right.
It is a game, and this is probably why I love it. It is a game where, and I mean, there's different types of gamers. There's the people who like, there's people who, for just as example, not a farming game, though there are mechs that do farming in it. But say you've got a game like Scythe where you literally look up on the internet, here's how you would plot out your first 6 turns with this faction, with this board, and you can plot it. This you can't plan.
Yeah,
you could do a little bit, but you can't.
You can know what you want to get to,
but you can't say I'm going to do this, then, because you are going to have to be flexible, and it forces that. It forces thinking in the moment. It forces recalibrating and saying, "Okay, you did that. Let me go back, and now I'm going to go do this instead." Which then, in turn, if you're playing with multiple people, makes Johnny go, you did that.
Yeah.
Now I think you're going to try to
Domino
do that. And so you can't. That's why I love this game.
You have an ideal player count for this? That you prefer?
3.
Yeah.
3 for sure. I mean, I've played it at every player count, 1 through 5.
5.
I mean, no, but it goes.
No,
Yeah.
it moves.
Goes. I mean, honestly, they say on the box 30 minutes per player. And I do believe that to a degree if you play with people who know how to play.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times there's not going to be a lot of downtime because it's very straightforward at some points, like what you got to go for.
There's so many things you can do.
Yeah, it's very limiting. Like you only have at the start of the game, you're going to have 10 spots, and you have everyone's got 2 workers, right? Mm-hmm. So 10 spots, 2 workers. As the game goes on, every round you flip over an additional spot. And the thing too that's great about this game is when you don't take a spot, a lot of them, the resources on those spots, they stack up. So if it's a spot for 1 clay, well, you don't have to go to that now. But later on, if no one goes to it, it's going to be 2 clay, 3 clay, 4 clay.
Which is why, that 3 wood that's there.
And it could turn into 6 wood if no one takes it. And if no one takes it, and you get the first player round, and then you're going in for 6 wood, that is 5 wood that goes towards your house that you're going to build, like you're counting on, which gives you more workers, which gives you more actions, but also more mouths to feed.
It's something I think I don't say this often, but this is if we made a list of games every board gamer should play, this is on the list.
Yeah, for sure.
And I do not put I take that concept of that list very seriously. Right. This is one you have to play.
Yeah.
If you want to try a game that I think is just masterfully designed. And yes, it's tight, it's mean at times, but
so it's the real
strap in, get to work on your farm.
16th century farming.
Yeah.
Done great on the table. It's like spinning plates with all the plates going all over the place.
Oh yeah. Things will break. But that is our number 1, Agricola.
Moo.